She dialed 911 on me for loading a damn toaster into my truck, screeching about unauthorized abandonment of community standards, like I was smuggling state secrets out of a gated fortress. By the time 5 cop cars screamed into my driveway, lights flashing like a bad action flick, I stood there clutching a box of bath towels watching Darlene, our self-crowned HOA overlord, puff up her chest in righteous fury, oblivious that her little power trip was about to implode spectacularly. Little did she know, while she'd been terrorizing the block with her ruler and her rumors, I'd been quietly turning the tables, buying up every house around her until her throne crumbled under the weight of her own hypocrisy. I was pushing 50 when I dropped anchor in Whispering Oaks, a cookie-cutter suburb in the heart of Ohio that screamed American dream from every manicured lawn and identical beige mailbox. After cashing out my logistics empire, 2 decades of wrangling shipments, dodging lawsuits, and watching partners stab each other in the back for a bigger slice, I had enough in the bank to buy peace, or so I thought. Burnout had me raw, like sandpaper on an open wound. I craved a spot where the biggest drama was whose turn it was to host the block party, not boardroom betrayals. Whispering Oaks looked idyllic on the real estate app. Tree-shaded cul-de-sacs, kids on bikes, neighbors exchanging waves that seemed genuine from afar. Move-in day, though the vibes were off. Curtains twitching like paranoid eyes, dogs yanked closer on leashes, and those tight nods that felt less like welcomes and more like good luck, sucker. I chalked it up to small-town suspicion. I'd melt the ice with time. But then the welcome packet thudded onto my doorstep like a brick of bureaucracy. A 3-inch binder bulging with rules on everything from grass blade length, no taller than 2.5 inches, measured weekly, to curtain opacity, must block at least 70% light to preserve neighborhood serenity. I flipped through it, chuckling at first. Who the hell laminates a manifesto on mulch colors? But the sheer pettiness gnawed at me. This wasn't community guidelines. It was a straitjacket disguised as civility. Still, I wasn't here to rock boats. I'd navigated multimillion-dollar deals. A few nosy neighbors weren't gonna faze me. Or so I told myself, ignoring the faint itch that something rotten lurked beneath the perfect hedges. The silhouette I'd spotted strutting lawns like a drill sergeant turned out to be Darlene Whitaker, HOA president and unofficial empress of Whispering Oaks. She materialized in my driveway 3 days post-move-in, clipboard in hand, perfume assaulting the air like weaponized vanilla. Cloying, inescapable. "Welcome to our little slice of paradise," she cooed, her smile all teeth and no warmth, oversized sunglasses perched like a crown. "We do value uniformity here. It keeps things harmonious." She thrust a highlighted sheet at me. Reminders on parking angles, precisely 90 degrees, and shrub symmetry. No asymmetrical growth allowed. Her eyes raked over my unpacked boxes, my SUV me, like she was tallying invisible infractions. "New folks sometimes need a gentle nudge to fit in," she added, tapping her pen with the precision of a metronome set to judgment. I nodded politely, voice flat. "Appreciate the heads up." Inside, though, a spark flickered, control freak alert. She lingered, peering into my garage with a hum that screamed disapproval. "Tidiness goes a long way in maintaining property values, you know?" It wasn't advice. It was a veiled threat wrapped in suburban saccharine. As she sashayed off, ponytail swinging like a pendulum of power, I watched neighbors freeze. A guy mid-lawn mow killed his engine. A mom hustled her kid indoors. Darlene wasn't leading. She was ruling, and the block orbited her out of sheer dread. I came for quiet, but the silence here felt enforced, like a gag order on joy. My backstory? 22 years crunching numbers as a financial analyst, spotting patterns in chaos while execs melted down around me. I'd fixed busted budgets, navigated ego-fueled mergers, survived a divorce that left me hollowed out like a gutted fish. Patience was my armor. I didn't start fights, but damn if I lost them. Cashing out left me lighter but aimless. No yacht dreams, just a hankering for boredom. Whispering Oaks promised that staged perfection, from leashed pets to chalk rainbows on sidewalks. But perfection hides cracks. First neighbor I met was hauling boxes to his truck. Eyes sunken like he hadn't slept since the Reagan era. "Moving out?" I asked casually. He glanced around, leaned in. "Yeah, Word of advice? Stay off her radar. Head down, mouth shut. Before I could probe, he peeled out. Others gave pitying looks, yanked kids away like I carried contagion. I dismissed it, bitter ex-resident syndrome. Then the binder hit, rules penned with glee in shrinking lives. I laughed it off, but unease brewed. Darlene's aura screamed, static charge. Neighbors snapped to attention like boot camp recruits. What she didn't get. Numbers were my playground, contracts my shield. Push me and I'd dissect every clause until the game flipped. The first violation notice slapped my door like a public shaming. My garden hose coiled at an unapproved angle, violating aesthetic harmony. Fine $50. I stared, half expecting a punchline. A hose? Angle? Ignored it, clerical glitch, surely. 2 days later. Tire grazed grass by a hair while unloading groceries. Another $50, photo evidence arrowed like a crime scene. Third. Trash bin peaked 2 inches from the street. Enlarged pic attached, arrows accusing. Absurdity piled up. I confronted Darlene at her doorstep, her porch a shrine to plastic flamingos in perfect alignment. This has to be a mistake, I said evenly. She smirked, clipboard shielding her like armor. Rules are rules, dear. They're there for everyone's benefit. Keeps the riffraff out. Her tone dripped from motherly concern, but her eyes gleamed with petty triumph. Laws are laws, I shot back softly. But this feels personal. She tilted her head. Only if you make it so. Compliance is key to community spirit. I walked away, blood simmering. Whispers started then. Neighbors murmuring I was trouble, a disruptor, who didn't fit the vibe. Darlene's rumor mill churned. I was a slob, a rule breaker, maybe even shady from my big city past. I bit my tongue, observed. Peace? This place was a pressure cooker, bubbling with enforced blandness. Surveillance kicked in like a bad spy thriller. 6 a.m., coffee in hand. I spotted a bored lackey snapping pics of my driveway with a zoom lens. Stepped out. Morning. Bird watching. He stammered. Just documenting clouds. And bolted like a guilty squirrel. Days later, drone buzz overhead, dipping over my fence like a nosy hornet. I waved. It fled. Anonymous note under my mat. Conform or consequence. Neighbors crossed streets to avoid me. One who'd chatted pre-Darlene now ghosted, posting in the app about respecting traditions. Isolation stung, but anger sharpened my focus. Evening trash run. A guy 2 doors down whispered. She's ruined better people. Sorry, man. Gone before I replied. Another promised solidarity. Then clammed up when Darlene patrolled. Her app post. New arrivals must honor our shared values, or face the music. Betrayal in emoji hearts. Fear morphed to resolve. I wasn't folding. This wasn't peace. It was occupation. The breaking point? Darlene trespassing, ruler to my kitchen window, measuring tint like a forensic tech. Tuesday heat baked the yard. I froze mid-tomato watering. What the hell are you doing? Voice edged. She didn't blink. Standard inspection. Your reflectivity's off. Disrupts harmony. I didn't approve this. Smug grin. No need when the community's at stake. We can't have outliers dragging us down. I stepped close. Outliers? Or just folks who won't kiss the ring? Jaw twitch. She hated pushback. We cherish order here. Resistors. Well, they don't last. Brushed past, perfume choking like tear gas. Fists balled, I seethed. Fine snowballed. $200 for weathered fence. $500 for misaligned mailbox. Even a phantom guest violation. Lean threat loomed. Rumors escalated. Darlene whispering I was unstable. A threat to families. Twisting my divorce into violent tendencies. Block app buzzed with anonymous digs. Watch that new guy sketchy. I stayed silent. But inside, game on. Dug into HOA bylaws, county records. Loophole gold. Weighted voting by property ownership. 1 house, 1 vote. 22, majority control. With my nest egg, I started buying quietly via LLCs. First 2, easy flips from weary sellers. Darlene none the wiser, ranting about outsider invasions. As purchases mounted 4, 6, 8, Darlene's grip slipped into paranoia. Emergency rules flew. Ban on unvetted acquisitions. Guest pre-reg 48 hours out. $1,000 preservation fee for rentals. Illegal as hell, but she shoved them through Sans vote. Neighborhood tensed. Kids vanished indoors. Chats halted at her approach. Loyalists whispered doubts. I saw her glaring at parcel maps in her car, slamming folders at my glance. Panic suited her. Face pinched, voice shrill at meetings. We're besieged by corporate raiders undermining our values. Treasurer suggested checking filings. She snapped, irrelevant. This is sabotage. Spot on, just wrong culprit. Local reporter knocked. Heard HOA gripes. Care to comment? Neutral responses. Too soon. Her app rant. Beware rumormongers and foreign threats. Meltdown public now. By Property 20, weekly crises. She slapped tables, eyes wild. Someone's manipulating us. No name, just fear. Final straw. Letter demanding I clear my backyard debris. Planted evidence. Photo angled deceptively. 24 hours or cops. Pulse steady. On my counter, deed 22 closing. Signature fresh. Tomorrow, majority mine. Folded the notice. Your move ends you. The HOA meeting crackled like a storm front. Whispers, fidgeting, Darlene front and center. Clipboard death gripped. Perfume a fog of desperation. We address a grave offender tonight, she declared, eyes boring into me. Repeated violations, defiance. We vote for criminal escalation. Stares followed. I front-rowed. Calm, she faltered. This resident's debris, lighting, non-compliance endangers us all. That debris? Not mine. I interjected loud. Gavel slam. Speak when called. Stood. Consider me called. Murmurs swelled. Folder on her table. Opened slow. Deeds, weights, filings gleaming. What nonsense. Voice cracked. Proof, I said. Turned. Over 12 weeks. I've acquired 22 properties via LLCs. Legal, quiet. Held fresh deed. As of 3:14 p.m., majority holder. Room exploded, gasps, curses. Darlene reeled. You? Impossible. Fraud. County recorded. I countered. Treasurer paled. Weighted votes. 51% control. Mine now. Liar, she hissed. Projector flicked. Maps, transfers, authents. Sheriff entered. Tipped off. Legal, ma'am. You're finished. Silence. Loyalists peeled away. You conned us? I said, flipping to frauds. Liens, kickbacks, emails. Bury him till he breaks. Room roared. You tanked my loan. Fined my mom for lights. Ruined me. Darlene shrieked. Fakes. I protect you. Fury turned. Accusations flew. Sheriff? Over. Clipboard clattered, her empire's death knell. Fallout hit like a tsunami. News looped her meltdown. Shrieks, streaked mascara, evidence towering. Headlines, HOA fraud exposed by secret buyer. County probed fast, embezzlement, fake liens, conspiracy charges. Board imploded. Treasurer ghosted. Secretary groveled. Neighbors shunned her. Restraining order barred entry. Whispering Oaks exhaled. Kids laughed outdoors. Shutters blazed colors. Potlucks sans permits. Property values climbed in freedom's glow. Me? Reclaimed dignity lost to burnout. Fight wasn't vengeance. It was revival. Helped others dismantle tyrants. Templates, statutes, quiet advocacy. Purpose refilled me. Block dissolved HOA amid cheers. Partied under band lights. Drew chalk houses with kids. Fenceless. Fearless. This wasn't win. It was restoration. So, was Darlene the real villain? Or did the neighbors who stayed silent enable her reign of ridiculous rules?